Hi everyone, I'm Lissette Perez-Carrillo, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about Casa Carrillo. So, as many of you know, we recently rebranded from EP Carrillo to Casa Carrillo. And Casa Carrillo is about honoring tradition while at the same time looking towards the future. Now, what does this transition mean for us? Well, a lot of the cigars that you have come to love are obviously still part of our brand, and now they're under that umbrella of Casa Carrillo. Those brands are the EP Carrillo, which is our Essence series. Then we have the Inch line, which is our big grain gauge line. And then we have our Pérez-Carrillo series, which is those award-winning cigars that made us the most, sought after for some time cigars out there. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Casa Carrillo and what it means to us. Last year, we transitioned our factory from Tabacalera La Alianza to Casa Carrillo Cigar Factory. And that was because we wanted a name that associated with us, that name being Carrillo. So everybody was super excited about it, and we started getting a lot of advice that maybe we should do the same for our Miami operations. And we decided that we were going to become Casa Carrillo as well here in Miami, and that was going to be also our brand, our main brand, the umbrella. And what we want, to communicate to everyone is that our transition is about one legacy, right? So you have this family of which I'm fourth generation that has been in the tobacco industry in one way or another for generations, over 120 years. And it started in Cuba, and that's where the seed was planted. And then it moved to Miami, and that's where our resilience really kicked in to keep the dream alive, the hard work, the many, many years of effort to get us to be able to continue our tradition, so much of which was started in Cuba with my grandmother out in the fields and my grandfather basically owning a very successful brand there. And this was all pre-Castro. And then, of course, you have Dominican Republic, where our mastery really took wings. And my father, Ernesto, went and developed some of the most well-known brands out there. So let's talk a little bit about what this means, with each of our cigar lines. As I mentioned before, our EP Carrillo, which was our former brand, has its own line now, right? So now it becomes Casa Carrillo, and the sub-brand is EP Carrillo, and that's part of our Essence series. So in the Essence series, we like to highlight the wrapper, right? So it's about, we started with a campaign called Awaken Your Senses. It's about experiencing what each of these different wrappers have to offer. And this is one of our newest sub-brands. And we started with the Sumatra, which is made at our factory, Casa Carrillo. We have the Maduro, which is also made in our factory, Casa Carrillo, in Dominican Republic. We have the Honduras, which is made in the Placencia factory in Honduras. And then we have the Connecticut, which is made in the Diadame factory in Honduras as well. So here we have, different options for different palates. And what is very special about this cigar, it could be your go-to cigar. So it's very nicely priced to serve as that, and then made with the utmost best tobaccos. So you're basically getting a wonderful premium cigar for less price than maybe some of our other sub-brands. And the Sumatra is actually a wrapper that my dad is very well known for. The Maduro is also a cigar that my dad is very well known for. And basically a lot of people were wanting a Honduras wrapper. And that's why we sought out, a collaboration with Placencia, because we know that they have some of the best tobaccos out there. And the Honduras is a current favorite of a lot of people, and the latest release as of the date of the video. And then we have the Connecticut, which will be released very soon, and possibly would have already been released at the point when the video airs. So you have these four options, and two more options will be available in the next year or so. Then we have our Inch series. So a lot of people may know that my dad, Ernesto, is known as being the pioneer of big grain gauges. So what does that mean? It means that he was the first to put out, widely commercially available big grain gauge cigars. And a lot of people like big ring gauges, not only for the complexity and the flavor, but also because you get a lot for your, a lot of bang for your buck, in the sense of all of this, at least our brand, is made with premium tobacco. So the big ring gauge is not, anything other than premium. And every tobacco that goes in here is premium. So we have here in this line the Inch Natural, which is made in our factory, Casa Carrillo. You have the Inch Maduro, which is made in our factory, Casa Carrillo. And then you have the Inch Nicaragua, which is made at the Placencia factory. So here, again, we decided to collaborate with a family that's very close to ours to make an all Nicaraguan tobacco. Now, the most special sub-brand to me is the Pérez-Carrillo Series, because that's more of our family series. And also I have a very special connection with some of these cigars. So everything started with this series in 2014 with La Historia. And by the way, some of our videos here on YouTube can go into deep history of each of these cigars. So take a look if you want to learn more. I'm here more to summarize basically our different lines and the whole Casa Carrillo concept right now. So La Historia was the first one of this series to be released, and it's still one of our top sellers, going strong. And basically the idea of this is to honor the women in our family. It has my grandmother on one side with Pinar del Rio behind her, and it has me on the other side with Miami behind me. Then after this came the Encore, which basically was kind of the follow-up to La Historia. Again, there's a whole video talking about each of these cigars if you want to learn more. And the Encore is an all Nicaraguan puro, and it got the #1 cigar of the year with a 96 rating. And this is actually my dad's favorite. He calls this his masterpiece. Then we have the fullest cigar that we have in our portfolio, which is the Pledge. And here with the Pledge Prequel, we got the #1 cigar of the year as well with a 98 rating. And this is a spectacular cigar. This is kind of where a lot more consumers started noticing us. So we're very happy about the Pledge Prequel. We also do a very special campaign every year with Us for Autism, donating certain funds for box sales for this cigar to that wonderful foundation. Then we have the Allegiance. So the Allegiance is also part of the Pérez-Carrillo series, which we kind of consider the classic, because all of these 4 cigars are available. They're not limited. They're full production cigars. And this one, we decided to, pay a tribute to loyalty and unity and collaboration, and made this at the Oliva factory. So we're very happy that we are able to collaborate with them on such a wonderful cigar. This actually also won the #5 cigar of the year recently. Then what else do we have within this series that is of interest? We have the Encore Black. So we have decided to release a Black series, which is limited production and relates more to the Maduro, bolder, strong cigars. And Encore Black is available multiple times a year. It is limited production. And once it sells out, then you probably have to wait a couple months for it to be available again at stores. And then we have our first cigar of the Premier Collection, which is the Endure. And this is made with a genuine Mirabelle Cameroon wrapper. And this cigar has, again, gotten a lot of attention for us, and also for the Mirabelle family's wonderful tobacco. And this is part of a Premier Collection because here we are featuring the tobacco used on the wrapper. And any cigars that we release in the future within this Premier Collection will have some, this tobacco, that the wrapper that is used is going to have, some extraordinary quality that we will teach you all about, obviously, when the cigar is pre-launching. Now, what makes us a little bit different, than some of the other companies out there? We don't have our own farm. So we have partnerships and collaborations with farms all over the world, where we have some relationships dating back, over 50 years. And basically, my father flies out to these farms, picks these tobaccos himself at all of these farms, again, based on, all of his knowledge and all of his experience. and then creates different cigars for everyone that can appeal to different palates, right? So we may be not known for, Casa Carrillo cigars are spicy, or Casa Carrillo cigars are smooth or creamy. We have something for everyone. So that's something that a lot of you might have not picked up on. And it's, I guess, great because, depending what you're in the mood for, you're always going to find something that you're going to like if you look at Casa Carrillo. So hopefully my explanation has helped you all understand a little bit more about us. And obviously, if you have any questions, please ask. I will be personally answering any of the questions that you might have here for this video. Take care, everyone, and thank you again.